Welcome to Metabolic Maestro. I teach men to restore internal order so that self-mastery becomes inevitable. Let's dive in. Today, we're discussing fasting and how most modern men see fasting as something that ultimately weakens the man. And you hear a lot of people saying how fasting is going to deplete you because long-term calorie deficit is not good for the body. Meanwhile, when we look at history, we look at our ancestors, fasting was a regular part of their lifestyle. And even now, when you see people living past 100 or 120s, still working in the fields, they implement fasting as part of their lifestyle. They might not necessarily call it that, but if you look at how they live, you find that they're not eating so much. They're eating very little. Still able to be very active and thrive in their 100+ years. So we just have to look at it and just use common sense. Because on the Maestro path, when you practice fasting, which is a time-constrained fasting, you find over time, the more you practice, that indeed fasting does strengthen you, doesn't weaken you. It strengthens you by training you and conditioning you to get used to depending on your internal resources for motivation, for energy, for power, for strength. This separates you from the regular modern man who's constantly eating, thinking that constant eating is actually giving them energy. To some degree, yes. But think about this. When you eat, it takes energy to break down that food. Just think about it. So depending on what you're eating, how you're eating, you could actually be using more energy to break down the food than the actual energy that you're able to extract from the food. You can, over time, with this constant churning of the stomach, constant breaking down of food, processing, you just wear out the system quicker than someone who eats less, but is more efficient, more precise with the timing of the food and the nutrient density and the order in which they eat the food. This individual is using the power of their hormones to leverage being able to extract maximum nutrition from the food, maximum nourishment, and be able to get similar, if not better results than the one who's constantly eating. It's a matter of giving it some thought. Just give it some thought. There's a lot of fear-mongering to sell vitamins and products, and not to say that these don't have a place, because they do. Someone is severely malnourished, nutrient deficient, vitamins, a good vitamin can come in very handy. But for the most part, if you just eat whole foods, for the most part, and you give your body a chance to really process that food, give it a chance to digest it properly, to assimilate it properly, to eliminate it properly, you're gonna get all the benefits from that food, as well as allowing your body to clean itself. And this is what the constant eaters don't grasp, is that you want your body to be able to clean itself from all that cellular damage that goes on, the debris, that the residues that just get stuck in the body, and give it a chance to clear out through dropping insulin, stabilizing blood sugar. Once that happens, the body gets that signal to release growth hormone more and more. Growth hormone starts to mobilize fat storage to be used as energy, clean fuel. Clean fuel. I mean, if you don't do this, you don't really understand. It's just a bunch of words. Right now, I'm sitting about 40 hours or so, 41. I'm not even sure. This is day 70 of doing between 44. Well, my regimen for this 70 days has been between 36 hours and 46 hours or more. Sometimes 50 a hit. But essentially, I've been on this regimen. Haven't gone to 24, not because it's bad or anything, but I just haven't been there. Nothing in my life has really warranted that. I could, but I prefer to actually stay up in the higher levels because I find it easier. I did go to 36 the last week of December. I had a bunch of engagements, get-togethers, and so I allowed myself that 12-hour eating window so that I can enjoy life. So I went to 36, but usually I'm around 44, 46 hours. I just love it. And eating just in those short windows, I'm still preserving muscle. Why? Because that's another function of GH. GH preserves muscle tissue. Another function is that it enhances repair in your body. So you're allowing repair to happen. That's a key factor that constant eating doesn't allow. And then autophagy kicks in. Autophagy, cellular cleanup crew, starts to recycle the cells, misfolded proteins, and damaged cells. And in the process of doing this, it creates substrates of energy, amino acids, which also are used to feed the body. The body is super intelligent. It's not just going to eat itself. Some people see autophagy as your body eating itself. The body is not dumb. Come on, this is a very intelligent organism that operates your heart to be all these functions without consciously thinking about it, keeping you alive. And you think it's just gonna eat itself? That's just primitive thinking right there. Ignorance. Because when your body is recycling these cells, what happens is the substrates get released and your body uses them very efficiently. And then what it absolutely can't use, it excretes it. That's it. Very simple. And then the longer you fast, the more these effects compound to a certain degree. And that's why on the Maestro fast, the Maestro path, we keep the fasting to 50 hours max if you want to go. Because after that, you start to really get into a catabolic state where muscle tissue can be used. And so, because we value preserving the aesthetics of the Maestro path, you don't want to go that far. You can, but then you're not doing the Maestro regimen. Maestro regimen allows for that rhythm so that you get used to what fasting feels like, and then you can also maintain this for the long term. This is not extended fasting. This is not a one-time event at the start of the year and then you just go eat whatever you want. This is a constant training with your body to stay into these rhythms. And doing that, you transform from a man who needs external influence, external rewards, like quick hits from sugar or caffeine to get energy, to get fuel, to get motivation, and you start to really tap into your own internal resources for the power, for the energy, for the motivation. Become self-directed. That's it. That's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Remember, fasting is the doorway, stillness is the foundation, and discipline is the path. I'm loving it. Day 70. This is just day 70 for you. This is day 70 on really showing live proof on the internet. I've had a fasting lifestyle for 15 years plus. 15 years plus. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing. I've been there. I've done it in the trenches. All kinds of fasting regimens. I've done it. And so what I'm telling you, the way the fasting rhythms are constructed in the Maestro path is the most effective, useful construct, useful design for the modern man who is working, who has a family, who has duties and responsibilities to attend to. And this allows you to be more effective, more powerful, more strong, more efficient in attending to these things by fasting in this way. So I'll leave it at that. Check out that free guide I wrote, 24-hour guide to help you begin. Check it out. Link is in the bio. Till next time, be still.